Hello and welcome to another update video about Bitcoin. Yeah, Bitcoin still hovering around the 23k area. Let's see if we go down a little bit lower, maybe today or tomorrow. We are just moving sideways as you would normally expect it on a Saturday. Typically Saturdays are wave 4 territory, so what could be, I did give you an idea of a count here, but so far Bitcoin is just moving sideways. It would suggest that we come down a little lower at the moment. This long wick that you can see here on the chart is only really on Coinbase. So I'm watching if the wave 5 might still be ongoing of this move to the downside. Yeah, this is micro count anyway. Don't really pay too much attention here to the numbers. They are sort of a roadmap idea. This wick was annoying because it's not really on other exchanges. On Binance it isn't. It made a new low, yes, but really only a minor new low. What is more important that we are probably here in a C wave of Y of a wave 2. That's at least the primary expectation we're currently forming here. You could say some kind of a triangle. We're heading certainly here into the apex, and we might see a decision here fairly soon. Let's see. You know that these sometimes can extend out as well. So if it just continues to move sideways, we just get an extension of the triangle, but this is now the time to watch. And we have let's start with the primary expectation. The expectation would be that we get an extension here in the fifth wave. It's not super high probability, I tell you that as well. That's why I've highlighted this support area in yellow, not in green. Still though, that is for me at the moment the closest and the most logical explanation. There are two others that we talked about in yesterday's video, but the reason I'm following this is because of this movement in November. Yeah, so first of all, we have 5 waves up complete. So as I highlighted to you up here in the area, it's time to de-risk a little bit for anybody who wanted to. Yeah, be a bit careful with longs, but also be careful with shorts. It just means some of the profits that have been made on the way up. Yeah, that's when I tend to take some profits, which I did sort of also from the area when I entered here. Now I did enter Ethereum, but that's sort of strategically how to normally approach this. When you see some headwinds, minimum expectations are met, and it could very well go down or could go up further. Then it's time to take some profits typically, and not be too worried about, oh, but I could make X if this happens. Take some profits along the way and make sure that you don't lose them all, the profits that you made, and make sure that your profits don't turn into a loss, and then you normally get profitable and don't get greedy. I think that's sort of important. Quite easy actually. It's simple, not easy. Yeah, because it's a lot of psychological work there involved. But that's sort of strategically. Now, still though, we completed minimum expectations on the way up. Not the ideal target though. And that's why I'm thinking we could get this extension. Extension on the other hand is fairly unlikely, or not fairly unlikely, but it's rather unlikely. Similar meaning, because the wave 3 was extended. So typically when you have a extended third wave, you don't normally get an extended fifth wave. But is it something I would bet on? No. So we are in the crypto market, volatility, quick change in sentiment. So we need to be ready that this could push in a extended fifth wave to the upside as long as this yellow support area is holding. And this is exactly the support area we're in. Now, this extended fifth wave is something I talked about in the last few days, and this is sort of, we are prepared for it, yeah, mentally if it happens, and possibly also strategically. So how would that look like? It would mean that this was a 1-2 setup, yeah, that this was not the completion of the wave 5, it was just a wave 1 of the wave 5. This is now the wave 2. Then here a 3, 4 and 5 of 5 that could take us into the 30k region, to be honest. Yeah, but let's see if we find support here first. Now, in terms of finding support, I did draw that trend line. You can actually make a channel out of it. You connect waves 2 and 4 together. That's sometimes how you do it with Elliott Wave. Now, let's see if we find some support here. The only reason I put it really on the chart is because it runs basically through our support area, and it could hint, together with some fib extensions or targets, could give us some confluence in terms of finding support down here in the region around 22,400. Now, in terms of targets, if we take the length of the wave W, we take the high, go to the high of the X wave, target wise, yeah, this would point sort of towards the lower end, together with a trend line at around 22,226. That is the 1.618 extension is certainly one target, yeah. again, together with the trend line and together with the 78.6 FIB retracement here at 22,184. And another way of measuring target is we take the length of the A wave, we go to the high of the B wave there, of that triangle, and then the 22,340 level is also somewhere down here, the 1-to-1 ratio. Now we're currently hovering above the 61.8 extension. That is typically the minimum you would expect for a wave C. That's why we're hovering here probably. However, it hasn't really created an impulse from here. Now that can always happen, but for now it hasn't. So for now, consolidation would rather suggest another dip down, but that could be it. Yeah, but be prepared for another dip. Then we need to be watching, do we hold the 78.6 retracement and those targets I just gave you and the trend line. If we break and sustain below the trend line, I think we're morphing into another scenario. That scenario is the one that I already highlighted to you in the last few days as well, and yesterday in the last video, that these 5 waves are actually complete because minimum expectations were met, and that this move down could just be an A wave of a larger wave 2, because this is a wave 1. We would then move up in a B wave, and would then eventually come down in a C wave into this larger green support area between the 50% and the 78.6 retracement between 20,364 and 17,560. I've left the 38.2 FIB level on the chart for now, because that is typically where you would expect an A wave bounce. Then we move up in a B wave and come down in C. That's sort of in simple how it would work out in a most in the what I would say the second likely scenario. Then there is one more which overlaps a little bit with the second one, so I'm not really, and maybe even with the first one, so I'm not really following it. It just means, how do I label the chart? So again, it might get confusing, so if two are enough for you, don't listen. It doesn't make a great difference in the short term anyway, but I want to mention it because I might end up labeling the chart like that. So that would indicate that this wave 4 down here was never finished on the 13th of February, but that we came down only in the A wave, basically a flat pattern. We moved up in a B wave, and that's also not unlikely because of the lag in structure. Remember, when we moved up, we didn't really see the clear 5-wave structure in the beginning. So sometimes that points at B wave if movements happen very quickly, but aren't really to the ideal length, B wave. And what we could be doing now is just a C wave to the downside of sorts. Yeah, something like that. And this gives us quite a large spectrum of possible support areas, because the C wave can be shorter than A, or it can be longer. If it's shorter, it might end up in our yellow support area, and if it's longer, it might end in the green one anyway. So that's why we've got the overlap, but then the wave 4 would finish here, and we could still get a rally in the 5th wave. Okay, so someone asked, how can it be that the wave 4, yeah, because this would all be part of a wave 4, pushed above the wave 3? That's standard practice. That's the, well, it's not common, but it's also not rare. It's the overshooting B wave. Yeah, loyal channel members will know about this. We talked about it in the entire bear market. You know, early last year already we talked about this would be an overshooting B wave. Expect prices below 30K. That all happened. I think that was the forecast that saved most viewers here on this channel a ton of money, hopefully, because we identified, there were other people as well, I'm sure, but as one of the few channels, I would say, and analysts, we identified here very early in the beginning of the bear market. It was early December that we would head below 30K. And there was, you will know that, even though there are now, because we're in a trend reversal area here possibly, there are primary alternative expectations and so on. Here there was really only one. Roadmap down, yeah. And yeah, that hopefully helped a lot of people. I know it did. Yeah, that's where we are at the moment. And let's see if we get some more clarity on the weekend. But this is overall a possible trend reversal area. But in this one, now we're watching, do we break out of the triangle to the downside? If we do, it might hint at hitting those targets I gave you. On the other hand, a break above the 24,030 level, the B wave high of the triangle, would give us a first early indication that this move to the downside is finished for now. Okay, that's my update about Bitcoin. I hope you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment and subscribe. And if you really like the content, please check out the channel membership. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye-bye.